Sam Sumpter from bands DVK at Wild Coyote Recordings. So excited to be here with Boy Golden, celebrating the release of the new record. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
How does it feel to have this one out in the world?
Very good. It's been, well, it hasn't been like so long of a process, but for me it has, because I've been writing these songs for a long time and building up sort of a catalog of material to choose from, and it feels great to have them out doing their thing.
Absolutely. Have them out in the world for people to finally hear and
right.
respond to.
Yeah.
The album is called Best of Our Possible Lives. I want to talk a little bit about the title because you kind of pulled this on your interpretation of a philosopher's theory, correct?
Yeah, I kind of worked backwards from a Chris Christopherson song called The Best of All Possible Worlds, which is a more direct reference to, I'm not maybe going to pronounce the name right, Leibniz. He's like a German philosopher from the late 1700s, and he came up with this idea that if God is benevolent and compassionate, then this world that we're living in must be the best of all possible worlds. And then people proceeded to make fun of him for about 100 years after that because they're like, look at all the suffering and all the bad things that happen. You know, how could this possibly be true? And famously, Voltaire was one of the people that making fun of each other was like very standard practice in philosophy. They would write satirical essays back and forth, and that's how they would actually get a lot of thinking done.
A lot of roasting.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a professional roasting. But I always loved that Chris Christopherson song. And then for me, I kind of took the idea full circle, which is just that I don't have another life. So this must be the best possible life I can have for myself. So that was the idea behind that song and the title of the record.
That's beautiful. And it ties into a lot of Buddhist ideas, right? Is that a faith that you have or just one that you were exploring with this record?
Something I came by fairly honestly when I was like in my teen years. I started meditating and reading a lot of Buddhist text, and it's been a through line throughout my whole life. So it definitely wasn't something I did on purpose. But once we had trimmed down the collection of songs to these 12 songs, I was like, oh, this is definitely a thread that runs through all of these. And so I guess the idea that connects Best of Our Possible Lives to some of those ideas is just the idea of presence and no past, no future. You know, your whole world is wrapped up in a moment, essentially, which I've always loved that idea.
I love that too. That seems to be most religions or like most philosophies do kind of boil down to like this idea of presence and gratitude and, making the best of this life, I think.
Yeah.
So the themes draw on these Buddhist concepts. Did that also inform like the process of making the record as well?
Probably only for me, ever. Just generally only for me. I still do meditate regularly, and I keep a bunch of those practices close to my heart and close to my day-to-day life. So I think so. Yeah. All right, this first song's called Suffer.
Good goddamn, what a masterpiece laid out on the street in front of me. Good goddamn, another tragedy laid out on the street in front of me. Prices go up and they don't come down. Costs $40 just to hang around. I know people sleeping on the ground. Prices go up and they don't come down. I wanna know where my money went. I want a new fucking president. Wanna believe that God is benevolent. I wanna know where my money went. Yeah, we all suffer under the cover of the night. Under the cover of the night, we all suffer. Yeah. Painkillers and nicotine, white bread and trashy TV. You can drink yourself half asleep, just don't do it in front of me. Bad actors in politics, I can't take too much more of this. I'm looking for a more permanent fix, like a deep dark hole in a ditch. We sit in our living rooms and become what we consume. There's nothing old and nothing new, just whatever's in front of you. Yeah, we all suffer under the cover of the night. Under the cover of the night, we all suffer. Yeah, we all suffer, fighting our ordinary fight, fighting our ordinary fight. We all suffer. Ooh, we all suffer. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. So, this idea of suffering, to kind of bounce back to the concept of Buddhism and those ideas that inform the album, the fact that humans are all united by the fact that one thing we have in common is this ability to suffer.
It's in our nature. It's more than ability, I would say. It's just the nature of things. You know, everything in this world will pass out of existence except for this one thing that we have right now. So that just inevitably makes suffering. You know, good things and bad things will both pass in and out of existence. And I like to believe that there's a way out. You know, that's sort of the idea behind some of those Buddhist ideas, is that there is a path, a middle path through the suffering, which can either help relieve some of the suffering or maybe, maybe you end up being some sort of enlightened being on a hill. That could be great too.
We can all aspire to that. Well, how do you see art in relation to suffering? Because I think the beauty of it is the way that it can either serve as a way to process suffering, as an antidote to suffering, as a way to express and share your suffering in the hopes of bringing people together. What's your kind of relationship to that?
Yeah, you got it, I would say.
Boom.
All those things. I mean, for me, making art and writing music has become just a practice in my life that I try to do as often as I can, and especially just writing new music is a way for me to deepen my inner experience of life. And walking through the world, I carry all that with me, and it definitely makes it a little easier. It makes it a little easier to live.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes it easier for all of us who just get to partake in the arts.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I also get a lot of relief from other people's art that they make too, right? You know, it goes both ways. It's a constant communication with everything.
And speaking of other people's arts, the next song that you're to play was actually written with Cat Clyde.
Yeah.
I believe. Our old friend from Americana Fest. This was kind of a product, right, of just like a hang sesh that developed into kind of a writing marathon.
Well, yeah, our relationship was that we got together with no sort of expectations of any kind and ended up just clicking really, really well creatively, which is super fun. I love writing with pretty much anyone. I really enjoy co-writing. But it's really amazing when you find someone where you're like, wow, I like all of your ideas. You know, that's really special, and that's sort of what Kat and I have. And so with this song, she took a tune that had like way too many verses and a pretty nebulous structure and turned it into something that I think is really tight and great.
Yeah, everyone needs an editor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's hear it.
This next song is called Cowboy Dreams. 1, 2, 3.
My love won't settle down. My love won't quit. My love won't hit you back. My love won't spit. My love has memories. My love has myths. My love gets rid of things when they no longer fit. My love is pumpkin pie. My love's Cool Whip. My love won't tell a lie, so I never let one slip. My love is all alone. My love is sick. My love gets on the phone and calls me just for kicks. Calls me just for kicks. My love would fly away if my love had wings. My love would spend the day doing all your favorite things. If I were a playing card, I'd be your queen, and you'd be the ace of hearts in all my cowboy dreams. In all my cowboy dreams. In all my cowboy dreams. In all my
Thank you so much. I really love the lyrics in that one, especially like my love is pumpkin pie, my love is Cool Whip. Like that.
That's the best lyric in the song.
It's just, I mean, in the most literal sense, but also just like very sweet.
Yeah.
Like, it was like very sweet love song. What was the process like of kind of just coming up with, all of these things that my love is? Because I love the idea of like these metaphors, and
Right.
I mean, I can understand why you had so many verses, because love is a lot of things.
That's why I wrote so many verses. It's not a super hard concept to write. So I don't think I was thinking about it really at all when I was writing it. I remember sitting on my bed writing this song and just like might as well keep going, might get better verses as I go on. And that does sometimes happen on like my 12th verse. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good line, and it's going to go up there later or whatever. So that's how I came up with them, I guess. Just spitballing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love that idea of like cowboy dreams as well. And do you see yourself as kind of a cowboy?
In my dreams. Yeah.
You got the bolo tie. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
the bolo game's strong.
Yeah, when we put out this song, only one person so far has been like, but like, are you a real cowboy or is it just for the aesthetics? And I just didn't answer. I'll let them decide for themselves. I mean, I'm galloping on a horse in the video.
That, by definition,
Come on.
I think.
I got the hat.
You got the boots.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's good enough for me.
Thank you.
I'm a big yeehaw girl, I'm going to say.
Same.
I love that so much. So just in terms of, talking a little bit about identity, whether or not you're a cowboy, but more so, Boy Golden, how do you relate to this? I mean, not character, but alias. Like, where does Boy Golden end and Liam Duncan begin?
It definitely started as a character for me. When I started this, I really wanted to have something that I could both like hide behind and also step into, because I get to dress up a little different and I get to say things in my songs that aren't necessarily true. I feel like when I did actually put out an album under my own name, which I don't know that you can find anymore, but I just felt like with that, I was always having to be like, but is this true? Like, are people gonna think I'm this way or that way? And with Boy Golden, I don't think about that ever. If I want to write a fictional song, I write a fictional song. And if I want to act, I don't know, if I want to be a certain way, I can be that way. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, there's definitely liberation in that. I think
Totally.
there's, this idea that a lot of people before they write memoir, write fiction because it's easier to kind of write almost as, even if it's your emotions and your experiences, to write them as like a third person.
Yeah.
There's a lot more freedom there.
Totally. Sometimes a song will start being about me, and then I'm like, wow, this is a way more interesting thing than what actually happened. Let's go this direction, make it hit a little harder.
Absolutely. And then it passes the fact-checking test.
That's right.
And this is an album, too, about self-discovery, right? Mm-hmm. In a sense. Is it was the process of writing it, were you learning about yourself, or was this more recounting just the different elements of becoming who you are?
The way I write is basically a process of discovery because I really very seldomly set out with an intention to write a song about something. For those of you at home, if you want to know how I write songs, I usually start with music, and then I get melodies, and then I get lyrics. And lyrics are actually kind of my favorite part, but I'm always making them fit into this sort of situation I've set up for myself. And then because of that, I never really know what I'm going to write about, and then I usually figure it out sometimes weeks, months, years after words, which I did with some of these songs are old for me, not old for everyone else, but they're old for me. So it was really cool to have a long time to process what they were about.
Yeah, love that. What song are you going to play for us next?
We're going to play a song that I really love called Eyes.
Don't it all feel like a dream? You wake up one day and it's gone. Don't it keep you feeling free? Don't it keep you pressing on? You run your track, I'll run mine. And now and then they'll intertwine. Don't it seem like some design picks you up from time to time? Oh, Lord, staring at the sky. And I swear I saw you there in my brother's eye, in my brother's eye. Don't it seem so sad and pure? You wake up one day and it's gone. You found love, but you're not sure it's supposed to last this long. Don't it hit you like a drug? Don't you think you've had enough? You've been outside sleeping rough. Who is watching over us? Oh Lord, I'm all fucked up, staring at the sky. And I swear I saw you there in my lover's eye. Yeah, I swear I saw you there in my lover's eye, in my lover's eye. Don't it all go by too fast? You wake up one day and they're gone. Ain't no way a good thing lasts unless you put it in a song. Oh Lord, I'm all fucked up, staring at the sky. And I swear I saw you there in my mother's eye. Yeah, I swear I saw you there in my mother's eye, in my lover's eye, in my brother's eye, another's eye.
As someone who is a sucker for lyrics, I think in that one, the line, ain't no way a good thing lasts unless you put it in a song. It's like really hits for me.
That hits for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've often thought about songs and recordings in particular. They're kind of like photographs of a time, you know, and probably they won't be around forever and forever and forever, but they're definitely going to outlive me. So that's all you can really ask for out of a memory.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a time capsule. And this is, I believe, at least your fourth album, right? Out in the world at this point. How have the previous ones kind of set the stage for this one? Or is this like a totally
Good question.
new vibe?
I mean, everything, making this album felt like making my first ever album because I did it in a completely different way. I've always recorded everything myself with like my friends here and often mixed and produced everything myself. And I decided not to do that with this one. And it was a great experience. Austin and I went down to LA and recorded most of it there. And then we recorded the rest of it in Toronto. Fontine came in for that and sang on it. Where was I going with this? I would say I purposely wanted to make a bunch of albums myself so I could really learn as much as I possibly could. And I really felt like I needed to bring in someone else because I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to get much further than I've gone. right?
Yeah.
And then I learned so much through the process. So it was totally a good decision.
Yeah, just outside perspective is
Yes.
always
Huge.
helpful.
And I didn't have to do everything also.
And doing less stuff is also amazing.
It's great. I just, sang my songs and guided the process and along with the producer Robbie, and that's it.
Well, one of the collaborators on this album was a bassist named Pino Palladino, and I think the credits on this one, like he's worked with like Adele, D'Angelo, The Who, like not traditionally like roots folk music per se. So how did this kind of collab come to be, and how did that inform the album?
I mean, the producer Robbie heard the songs and was like, "You should. What would you think about hiring Pino Palladino?" And I was like, "Yeah, it sounds
A name
good."
like that.
You know, yeah. Anyways, I mean, if you look at his credits, he has done everything, and he was fabulous in the studio and super chill guy. We smoked a bunch of spliffs together. It was so awesome, and he was great. And the drummer that Robbie hired, Abe Rounds, is an absolutely gorgeous musician, and I loved hearing them play my songs. It was a highlight of my life.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. I loved every second of this session, and it's not over yet. What song are you going to close with?
We're going to close with the title track of the album, Best of Our Possible Lives.
Boople.
Boople for short, yes. We never call it that. It's Boople forever.
Don't complicate my life. Don't bring me down to your size. I'd like to live under clear blue skies. Don't complicate my life, and I won't ever tell a lie. And never ever waste your time. I will be there when the sun done rise. I won't ever tell a lie. We can own our place in the mess of things. Find our way in time, in the best of our possible lives. You're by my side. I don't like to compromise with my wild and lonely life. I like to live with the sun in my eyes. I don't like to compromise. So come on with me where you will, to eat and sing and drink your fill. I will be there in the rolling hills. Come on with me where you will. We can own our place in the mess of things. Find our way in time, in the best of our possible lives. You're by my side in the morning. You're by my side in the night. You're in my head all day, in my bed tonight, in the best of our possible lives. You're in my head all day, in my bed tonight, in the best of our possible